Hello, welcome to iMedia Reports. This is a program where we aim to provide clarity, analysis on some of the things that are happening within the Nigerian space and even across the world. Things that we believe will add a lot of value to you and everybody. A lot of things has been happening, President, since the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was sworn in. He's moving so fast. Everybody is like, this is one of the first presidents to hit the ground running the way it was promised. And he has been doing a lot of things. And in this episode, we want to review some of those things and really bring some context to it and help people understand it. Within these 2 weeks that he has been the president of Nigeria, he has signed so many laws. I mean, he has signed like 4 bills into law. He has been sacking, he has been suspending, he has been signing, he has been, moving things around that everybody is like, how is he doing? For example, if we start with the issue of the bills that he has been signing, how did he get so many bills signed so quickly? And the fact of the matter is that means some of those bills were coming from previous administration. They were, if you take the example of the student loan bill, which is like access to tertiary education bill for Nigerian students. This is a bill that had been with the National Assembly for a while. I mean, since probably 2019. Towards the end of last year, there was the event where the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Femi Gbajabiamila, had discussed the fact that that bill was under discussion and he promised to get it passed. So the way Tinubu was able to sign it so quickly is because the thing had gone through all the process. Some other presidents might have just received such a bill and start the process of, I want to review it. I was not there. Is my interest covered in it and everything? But I mean, Gbajabiamila and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are like 5 and 6, so it was easy for Ahmed Bola Tinubu to get on with the thing and sign it. So with respect to that, one additional thing that we should know about it is that the bill was initially supposed to have like an education bank, the way we have the Bank of Industries, Bank of Agriculture, and things like that. There was initially supposed to be a bank, like an education bank, but we thought it would be more cumbersome, is managing a bank and all these things. So I think the final thing that was signed is just a fund. That fund will largely be managed by the CBN, and then the CBN governor is to set up a committee that would oversee the fund. The fund will be collected from various parts of the government and domiciled with the CBN, and then that committee comprising the CBN governor, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, ASU, NBA, and the rest of them, like 7, 8 entities, will be on that committee. And coincidentally or interestingly, the Nigerian students themselves do not have a representation on that committee, which was one of the things that the Nigerian Student Society, the NANS committee that visited the president, raised as an issue. And interestingly, they actually requested that the ASU committee, which is the lecturer, should be removed from that committee. But be that as it may, as it stands, ASU is on that committee and NANS is not on that committee. But whatever it is, the plan that I see there is for students, indigent students, to get a loan. So a lot of times we see a person that sends you his admission report and he says, look, it's just money to pay school fees that is my problem. So this is likely to be solved. However, there are a number of catches that we need to realize with this bill, which is that there is the issue that the parents of the sponsor, the parent, the guardian of such a person must not be earning must be a person that is earning less than 500,000 naira in a year. That's like a salary of like 448,000 naira per month. So anybody earning more than 48,000 naira per month, his children cannot apply for that loan. So a lot of people feel that the threshold is actually too low. It doesn't cover the average person. The person earning 100,000 naira or even 150,000 naira per month with 3 children will still not be able to afford university at a certain level. But hey, This is probably like the starting point, and then it's probably good. Let's get started and hope that we can roll. However, you need to bear in mind that that 500,000 naira was actually written into the bill, so it makes it more difficult to amend later because the figure is specific. It's those kind of specificity that makes some awards where they will say somebody got an award as the best graduating student in something something, and it was giving 50 naira, as the prize. It's because that price was not tied to something that can change. So whenever people win it, after a while it becomes ridiculous. Which I think, well, personally, I think the 500,000 naira threshold is actually quite low. A lot of people will not be able to meet that. It might create the need for people to start falsifying documents and hiding things. So that's like the one of the eligibility criteria. And then the fund is, when it is approved, it is meant to pay only for the tuition. The student still has to sort his feeding, has to sort his books and every other thing that he will be needing. Only the tuition will be covered, whatever the tuition is in any tertiary institution in Nigeria. So the Nigeria needs to be emphasized. Somebody cannot get admission in outside Nigeria, in Saudi Arabia, in UK, and go to that committee to finance it. It has to be in Nigeria. So those are like some of the criteria for that. And then the other thing with the bill is that the repayment will be from 2 years after service. So after service, if the person is self-employed, he would start paying back the money monthly. He will be paying back 10% of whatever profit he's making from that business. And if he's employed in a company, then the employer will be paying back from his salary monthly. So that creates a situation where it's like a revolving loan as some people graduate and some people will be paying it back. However, some people have said this bill is not new, this arrangement is not new. In 1972, a similar arrangement was made. The education scheme, education fund scholarship committee or something, that was done in 1972, and people collected it, but within a few years it collapsed because a lot of people were not paying back, a lot of people could not be tracked and everything. So one of the questions that people have asked is, will Nigerians not just game the system and just move and just collect the money and not pay back? Well, it will be a lot more difficult this time. Then, very important tools were not yet available in the 1972 episode of it. Now, with the availability of NIM and BVN, it becomes a lot more difficult. The CBN has the Global Standing Order initiative or policy in the CBN, where anybody that is owing an amount, whatever accounts that is linked to that person's BVN can be debited for anything he owes. So there is really nowhere to hide your money when you owe now. If you owe and you think you open another bank account from that bank, the standing order from CBN is that anywhere that person has, except you take your money and put it in your pockets, and then with all this digital stuff, you can't even hide money in your pocket. So it becomes a lot easier for the government to track anybody that needs to be tracked. So I think essentially that is one of the ways to prevent defaulting and some of these things. So generally, on the overall, one would think that this is a very good initiative to start with. However, another thing about this fund that we must be aware of is the fact that it's a part of a package, and those packages will be unveiled one by one. Tinubu is a very economic person, he's a very economy-minded person, or he's an economist, he's a business person. So the trend that we must be prepared for, that I'm suspecting as he does in other sectors also, is the fact that university education will be privatized. So there is a good chance that he's preparing the groundwork for the privatization of university education. So those that cannot afford it should go and take a loan. But the cost of university education is going to increase very high very soon. So very soon, all the ASU issues, the university will be left to charge whatever they want to charge and get their payment and stop coming to government to collect the money. So that gap between those that can really afford it up there and the insurgent and the indigent people down there. There is a bunch of people that are not very rich and they are not indigent. They cannot be called indigent. Those people are the ones I fear would have a big problem with tertiary education going forward, because they will not be able to access the fund and they are not like so rich. So, but let's be hopeful that this thing starts on a good note and possibly other packages will be made available for different strata of the society. So that's like some of my views on the issue of student loan. I hope it provides some clarity on this issue, and uh, Nigerians benefit from it, as the hope is actually, to be honest, the hope is high currently in the society. Even opposition parties are starting to commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for some of these initial steps that he has been taking.